We are live. What is up, everybody? Welcome to the Eddie Live Podcast, episode 284. I am here with Coinsider Kevin.
Yes. Hello, everybody. How's it going?
What's up, brother? Man, from Texas all the way to Taipei.
Yes.
How you feeling, my man?
Good. It's almost the end of my trip, but
Okay.
I have family here, so I like to come as often as I can, as it makes sense, at least.
Okay, so do you get out here? I mean, your family's from Taipei, or?
Yeah, my aunts and uncles and cousins.
Nice, man. So you get out here a couple times a year? You come to all the crypto things, or?
Yeah, it's a good excuse to come, essentially. It
Beautiful.
can make it a business trip. Oh, it's
good?
not live
we're
yet?
not up. Da-da-da-da-da. Give me one sec. We should be live. Yeah, there we are. We're good. We're good. Okay,
we good.
Yeah, we're
We
good. We're
gravy.
good. Sometimes live gets like
A little delay,
that
yeah.
little bit of delay action, and then audio should be good. All right. So I want to ask you, Coinsider, man. It's such a cool channel. Tell me about you started it about 7 years ago, right? I went all the way back to the beginning, first few videos to check those out.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
quite the journey. If you can't tell, it was complete crap at the beginning. Like, I knew nothing. It was just me, MacBook, no microphone, crappy lighting, in some studio in SF, just making content. It's because back then, their crypto is really new.
Okay.
Right? So there wasn't like the biggest creator in the entire space in crypto had like 50,000 subs.
Okay. Wow.
So
okay.
it was so new. And I was like, talking to my buddies, I was like, there needs to be more like explainer and educational content, like
Agree.
telling how stuff works.
Yep.
So that's how I got started. Just me, my laptop, and a dream, essentially.
That's beautiful, man. So originally you thought, okay, what was the goal in the very beginning there?
Just to create content for others, really.
Okay.
Trying to be helpful and
Okay.
trying to learn as I go. Because back then I was a noob too, right? So
Sure,
I was
sure.
like reading, learning, and then making content at
Okay.
the same time.
Beautiful, man. And from then till now, what do you think has been like one of the biggest things that you've learned? I mean, obviously that's a massive journey, but what's one of the biggest things you've learned before we really dive in?
In terms of YouTube or
Yeah, in terms of YouTube, yeah, let's do a little bit of YouTube for the beginning, yeah.
Oh man, that's difficult because I've been a student of YouTube as well.
Okay.
And I think that matters because it's not only like the subject matter.
Yeah.
It's also like the YouTube game.
Yes.
Too. There's like two parts of it, you know?
Yes.
I think the biggest thing, and this is not going to be really helpful for anyone watching,
Okay.
but there's a lot of nuance. Like when you try to learn from the experts per se,
Yeah.
they give advice. And even like Mr. Beast, the biggest creator in the world,
Yeah.
he gives advice.
Yeah.
But there's so much nuance, and oftentimes what works for others
Yeah.
will not work for you, even if that was like the defining factor for their channel. Just the context, there's like so many different variables, right?
Okay,
And
yeah.
your niche, what like the viewers, the even like the taste of the viewers. Like for example, you could say like, one of my most popular videos was about XYZ. So if I make it again, it's like, let's say it was the last bull market I made that.
Sure.
You're like, well, it makes sense that if I make it now because it's a new bull market,
Yeah.
it's also going to be successful.
Yeah.
But no, that's not the case because there's so many different factors like the appetite of the audience per se has changed. Like
Sure.
maybe they're more skeptical towards that particular sector.
Okay.
Or maybe they're like, for example, maybe someone makes really popular airdrop videos, but then airdrops can have kind of been rugging
Okay.
the people.
Yeah.
So people are tired of it. So they don't want to see it anymore, even though it was successful in the past. So the whole point here is that there's a lot of nuance and there's no like one size fits all advice that works for everyone in every scenario.
Okay, something like the NFTs when they were blowing up, right? I don't know, a couple years ago with the crypto punks, and when everything, Snoop Dogg was, spending millions on, a piece of digital, virtual property, and then that kind of all slowed down, right? So to make a video on that right now would not make sense, I guess.
Yeah, but it's not only like the topic, it's also like some people are like, oh, focus on SEO.
Yeah.
Or focus on like great editing or great writing, like retention writing, or there's all these different like different things you could be good at.
Headline,
and
title.
Yeah, and they're all potentially important in their own ways, but there's never like a secret formula like, oh, if you could just improve your writing, then it's gonna fix your channel or make it blow up. It's always on a very case by case basis, depending on your channel, your content, your strategy, your niche, where the audience's appetite is, and just so many different things that matter.
That's beautiful. So you were talking about in the beginning, there was not very many crypto, let's say crypto YouTubers, right? And now 7 years later, there's a whole bunch, right? And so what do you think differentiates, keeping your channel growing as opposed to, somebody that comes on? I kind of know what the answer is, but I want you to give me
like
your
what
words.
we like to focus on for our channel.
Yeah, like for example, I'll see a lot of different crypto influencers that, let's say the thumbnail's not so good, but then you go in and they're like, hello, my name is Bob. I like crypto, and then after about 10 seconds, I could imagine, like myself, most people would click out, right? But when I clicked into your stuff, you just like, bam, you pop right off, and you're just like, you give your hook. You gotta have your hook. You gotta have all that stuff.
I would say that is our style and what we go for. Our style is to be really like do great research, deliver that in a non-fluff manner.
Yeah.
And also just be decent at the YouTube game in terms of writing carefully, editing, great editing. We have a great editor that does that for us. And just like our particular process is not to put things out really fast, because there are channels that like do it daily, right?
Like every day.
Yeah. And we can't compete. We don't want to compete on that. We're not going to put out the latest thing, but we're always going to offer great analysis and research after the fact. And we try to be a little bit more evergreen.
Yeah.
So it's not going to go stale, because if you're just delivering the news, like it's going to go stale in a couple days, essentially.
Yeah.
But there's nothing wrong with that. Like that works for some channels, and you can go really big in all sorts of niches, not only crypto, but maybe you're a travel channel or politics channel or whatever, or food channel. There's different approaches for every niche, but for us, it's quality over quantity.
I was going to say that.
And just trying to put out really high quality stuff that people can tell when they watch, essentially.
Okay. And how are you kind of balancing, education and entertainment, right? Because like edutainment is like obviously a new term that was coined kind of for YouTube, I think, right? So how are you kind of balancing, you want to get that info out there, but you have to do it in a way that's not boring.
Yeah, so I would say that we're more on the education side than entertainment, like maybe 70-30 or even 80-20 at some points. We try to make it the entertainment part would more so be like potentially done with editing, like B-roll or clips or footage.
Saw that, yeah.
And then maybe a little bit in the writing too. But I think other channels do that way better than us in terms of edutainment.
Okay.
In terms of like having mini skits in their thing, like a B-roll of them like pretending to do something. Yeah, so I would say we're a little bit more heavy on the education side there. Okay,
that sounds good. And obviously, it's like a fast-paced game. Something just popped up there. Yeah, fast-paced game with crypto, right? And so how is somebody like you? I actually saw one of your shorts where you kind of did the entertainment style, where one guy, a noob, was asking a pro. Like, that was cool. I liked that. That was good, right? So how are you able to keep kind of on in front of the game, because things are changing? Like I said, I was doing not a lot. I was doing some crypto a couple of years ago, and now when I go back in, I'm like almost lost.
Oh yeah, it moves so fast.
So how are you in front of that movement?
I would say it's hard to keep in front of it, regardless of if you're doing this full time or not, like I am.
Okay.
But it's really just keeping our, like, just being in touch with the pulse by being on X.
Okay. Is there a strategy? The XX? Okay.
Yeah,
X
following the right people.
Okay.
And just like reading the news and being in communities on Telegram, Discord, etc. So that's really because that's the thing, right? Like even someone who spends all day every day on this, they can't notice everything. There's just too much going on. Crypto's too fast paced. And like we did our research for a video and then we realized that like huge news came out for one of the projects the day after it was done. I was like, oh, we need to add that. Sorry. Like that's so big. So yeah, it's difficult, but if you just curate your feed and join the right groups, then that can help you out a lot in terms of noticing the right things and being on top of the right things.
Do you think that that's kind of a good strategy for kind of like editing out the fluff kind of, because there's a lot, right? There's like the Haktua coin, like there's just so much. There was that Squid Game coin. Yeah. Like there's so much. So how are you able to kind of differentiate or how would you do it as a pro, but how would like a noob kind of differentiate, be like, oh, that Haktua coin, it's gone 100x already. And that sounds great. So how could a new person kind of figure that out?
I think it's just about experience, like seeing like what happens over the long run. Some things pump, but then they dump. And then just discussing and debating with people too, because people have their own experiences and their own opinions. So it's good to just get their view of it, essentially. And I would say like it can really be a full-time job being an investor, just like reading all day, learning, trying things out. You know, it takes a lot of time. And not everyone has that time. And even me, like I need to make content and actually build some stuff too, you know, and not just invest all day, unfortunately, even though that may be more profitable if I was just investing all day. But I guess it's just about finding a balance, because like if you had more time to spend, that would obviously be better as a new person, essentially.
Like how are you balancing, like, you know, being a YouTube content creator and actually being an investor? Is it you doing like a 50-50 thing, or are you just kind of full out on both till you
honestly, yeah, kind of like 50-50 for now. Sometimes one way sways more than the other, but I think just like building an audience and cultivating that community is really valuable. Even if it's not like direct monetary gains immediately. So I definitely don't want to like just stop doing that, essentially, even though I could be spending a lot more time on just like researching and digging, and because there's like a fire hose of different information coming at me. So I could just everything people like share with me, I can be like, oh, I need to check this out. I need to research. I need to buy it, essentially. Okay.
And so tell me a little bit about, you guys started like the retail DAO, right? Tell me about, you know, what kind of inspired that and what it's about.
So what we've been talking about is exactly what inspired that. Like we realized that a lot of the communities or just like for crypto investors in general, what we really need is a good community to help us out with all the information, all the noise coming in. We need a way to filter it and just have a good support system in place. And a lot of people don't have that. Some people are lucky and that they're able to find such a community to help them out. But most people, I would say, don't. And they're kind of just going it alone. Or they're like following some influencers who really don't have their back, or don't have their best interest in heart. So that's why we wanted to build a retail DAO, a community for like-minded, serious retail investors. For people to help each other out and debate, discuss, and just be a great. one of the best is what we're aiming for. One of the best homes for retail investors out there.
Okay. Okay. And if somebody wants to, they want to join they want to get involved in the retail DAO. So how it's early days still, right? So
It's early days.
So tell me about how can, somebody get involved with the retail DAO?
So it's a token gated Discord. That's where our community resides.
Okay.
They need at least 20,000 retail tokens.
Okay.
It is free though. Like we did the TGE like a few weeks ago or like a month or so more ago. And then our first airdrop is about to end in a few days. We'll have more in the future, like once every quarter or so. But the airdrop is going to get a lot of new people in.
Okay.
And they'll get enough tokens to pass the token gating process and join the Discord.
That's beautiful, man. And why do you think like sort of the average Joe or whatever should jump into the retail DAO?
Great alpha, great discussions, great people, everyone there to help each other out, and we've already have proven like different coins that people have shared that we've gotten in on early that have risen significant amounts, like 5x, 10x, even like 50x for one of them, to be honest.
Nice.
Now that's not like guaranteed going to always happen, depends on the market and stuff like that. But the point is that people are active, people are engaged, and it's just a great community that is on the up and up.
Awesome, man. I love that. So you're saying, you Taiwanese heritage, right?
Yeah.
And you come out to Taiwan as much as you can. You came out this time for Blockchain Week, right? So tell me about the whole Blockchain Week experience you had here.
So I came for the first one.
Okay.
There's been 3 TPWs, Taipei Blockchain Week so far. I came for the first one when they didn't really know what's going on. It was just like kind of a impromptu thing. It's a much smaller venue, just a few hundred guests, but that was really fun, to be honest. Met a lot of people there. Wasn't able to come last time, unfortunately, but this year I came. It's a much bigger production. Thousands of people. Met a lot of great contacts. Met some Coinsider and Retail DAO teammates like Dan, Josh, Full Value Dan, GPT Josh, and other people. Even some people within our Retail DAO community, which was great. But I think it was really awesome because instead of just mindlessly networking, we did a mega live stream. With you, with Dan, with a lot of other people. Some of y'all watching this stream might have tuned in as well. And that was great because we interviewed a bunch of great people, got connections, and will hopefully be able to connect with them further and invite them into our community and just build long-lasting relationships with people in the space.
Beautiful. Yes, that was a fun experience. For me, a lot of this stuff that you guys were diving deep into, I was kind of lost on. But was there any project or any topic during that live stream that really stood out to you? Like, wow, we've got to hit this one.
I don't know about project in particular, but just talking with really cool people. Like Riot, he's a Solana KOL builder from Korea, and he gave us a lot of fun stories from Korea. And then it was fun to watch Josh vibe with the Barrett Baddies crew. And then just a lot of great conversations there.
Beautiful. And like, how would sort of a blockchain week here? Obviously, they must have them all over the world. I mean, I'm kind of new at this stuff, but Josh was saying like there's something in Dubai, right? Like, so how does kind of like the Taipei one compared to like something that will be in the US or something that would be, let's say Dubai?
So I haven't been to the Dubai one. That's arguably the largest in the world. I have been to multiple ones in the US. I would say that it's not bad. I would say this Taipei Blockchain Week is on par with some of the US ones. Maybe even a little bit more fun, but I think that's because of like all the things that we've set up for ourselves,
Okay.
and because of all the friends and colleagues that we've met here.
Okay.
But I would say it's on par with some of the best ones in the U.S. Maybe not nearly as much people and not nearly as much sponsors, but it's definitely respectable. And I think the organizers here did a good job, and they should be proud of what they've done.
It was the first one for me, and I had a good time. The massage was cool. The cold plunge thing was. I didn't do the cold plunge.
Me neither.
But I was kind of chickening out on that one. But that was fun. Food everywhere. Actually, I believe was the last day. I brought my wife and my daughter, and we went, and because I kind of wanted to show my wife a little bit about that, and it was pretty impressive, man. We got to see a little bit of people, talking on the stage. We got to get some snacks, and just it was cool. And then there was some places giving out tokens and stuff like that. I thought it was a cool experience, man.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And this is just like dreaming ahead, but if Retail DAO is able to get where we want to go, then we need to send people. We need to like use our budget to send people places. Maybe we should send you to help out with our podcasting stuff.
Hey, let's
different
go.
countries.
Anytime, man. I love it. Yeah,
that would be that's the dream. That's the dream.
That sounds good. I've been doing the podcast for a while. It's fun. I get to go out and do some stuff. Some cool stuff that has popped up with this is I've been able to like do English commentary and stuff for sports and stuff like that. So that's been pretty cool. Hold on, Rita. 现在不要用冰块，晚一点，太大声。Sorry. Yeah, I was just saying that. So about a week ago, I was able to do like the influencer boxing. I was the English commentator there at Taipei Arena. They packed it out. It was pretty awesome.
Dang,
Man. It was
awesome.
fun. It was really cool. Yeah. So stuff like that all came from just doing the podcast and stuff like that. So it's been pretty cool, man. Definitely would love to go to Dubai if you guys are offering. Let's go. Let's go to Dubai, man.
If we have the budget, we'll send y'all. We need to do this podcast stuff in other places.
Yeah.
It's a good gig for us, our ability to meet and connect with other people.
So I want to talk a little bit about your channel again.
Okay.
Right. So your channel, you started 7 years ago, right? It was just you just kind of, you were saying with just, your MacBook and stuff like that, fast forward 7 years and you have other people,
teammates,
now, teammates, right? So tell me about the process from, being the one man show. And then now you're like, okay, GPD Josh, and then you got a girl from Hong Kong. I can't remember her name, unfortunately.
Jimmy.
Yes, exactly. So tell me about sort of that transition.
So that's always been my vision. Like I said earlier, at the very start of this stream, there's many ways to do YouTube. You can be a one man or woman show, and get really big by doing that. That's not an issue. But for me, I've always seen this as like building something bigger, like a media company per se, with YouTube just being one component of it.
Okay.
So over time, I used to do it all. I used to even learn how to edit.
Yeah.
It was not good. It took me a lot of hours, but I learned how to edit a little bit using Final Cut Pro, make thumbnails, et cetera, all that stuff, write, research. I used to do it all myself, but slowly over the years, I found people to help me with various parts of the production process or just the whole process, end-to-end process. And now we have a team of about 10 people, just contractors for various things. And like you said, have different hosts too, like Josh and other people. And just trying to be flexible and nimble and not get too far ahead of ourselves here.
Okay, yeah.
But also have a team that can help scale the process and just make this like reach its full potential, essentially.
Okay. And for you, kind of being the founder, and now you're still hosting, obviously, videos and stuff like that. But now you almost have to be like when I opened a restaurant, right? So we started with a stand. It was just me and my wife. And then, we grew to a small restaurant. They had to slowly hire
over
employees,
time. Yeah,
right?
exactly.
So tell me about a little bit about that, sort of the entrepreneur side, the entrepreneur experience with the channel.
It's just, you're right. It's about being an entrepreneur and like a business person. It's a lot more than just making videos. You have to like look at your revenue, see how you can invest it into growth. Carefully, like look at your budget and think about where to invest it. Some things work, some things don't.
Yep.
And then just like build out your team to help you out where it makes sense, where you can get ROI from it over time, right? It's a slow process. It's like one thing at a time. Like back in the day, I was like, oh, I have so many things that I want to do, but it's ultimately about prioritization and about doing it one step at a time. Like 1 month, focus on producing content, of course, not just stopping that completely. You can't just stop completely. But you're like, okay, I'm going to focus on this, like hire this editor or learn how to edit myself. And then hire an editor once I know what I'm looking for. So it's a slow process. It's taken quite some time. But essentially the goal is to, like I said, create something bigger, a media company, and have it be able to run without me having to be a be there in person, turning on the camera and things like that.
And so obviously when you're looking for a host, you must be looking for specific things, right? So tell me, what are you looking for? Like when you're looking for somebody like Josh, right? Or Ginny, right? So what are you looking for when you're looking for, say, like a host? Like if you want another face, very different.
A good on-screen personality, like charisma, and they should know crypto. They should be in the community, engaging with people because they're one of the faces of the channel, and just good presentation skills and the willingness to learn. Essentially, there's not too much there.
Okay, cool. So, and sorry, that's why the gate is down, because we open at 12, right? And everybody bangs on it all the time.
Oh, that's okay.
So that's why I'm like, let's do it at 11. Yeah. It's all good. That threw me off there.
No worries.
So regulation and stuff like that. I know that DeFi is huge in the crypto space, right? So how can we bridge, like, let's say, like somebody like me, or even like, let's say my mom or your I don't know if your mom's into crypto, but your mom or your parents, how can we bridge them into something like a blockchain week or something, into like getting them into crypto?
I would say it's just better use cases, really. Like if we want mass adoption, it needs to be things that you don't have to know. I know this is like beating a dead horse with whatchamacallit.
Yeah.
It's like beating a dead horse with this saying, but it's like you need to build stuff that people don't know what's underneath it. What's the technology underneath it? So for example, like one of the biggest successes of a crypto app was Polymarket. That was the prediction market that predicted the US elections faster and more accurately than any news network that called it. And people used it without, or people were looking at it at least as a news source without knowing that it was running on blockchain.
That's cool.
Like even my buddies who aren't into crypto were using it for that purpose.
Beautiful. So
it's stuff like that, where it's like a great experience, a Web 2 type of experience, is what they like to say. That I think it's important.
Beautiful, man. I'm gonna pull up a couple pictures from your YouTube. Some thumbnails, right? And then you tell me a little bit about that. I think that's your biggest video, right?
That's my biggest video.
So tell me, why do you think it is?
So we did a lot of research because back then that was the biggest debate on X. They were saying, is Luna a Ponzi that's going to collapse or not? There's so much debate. All the giga brains, way smarter than me, were debating, fighting with each other, writing all the reasons why. All we did was read all of it, try to understand what's going on, and then break it all down in that video step by step. Like, if the collapse were to happen, it's going to be like this, in this order. And then that's how the death spiral goes. So we broke it down in an easy to understand manner in a way that no one else has done. And we did it 3 months before it collapsed in the exact way that we spelled out. Now, did I say that it was going to collapse in 3 months or anything like that? No, of course, I did not know. But people still thought it was impressive that we spelled it out to a T, and it happened exactly that way.
That's amazing. Yeah.
So they're like, wow, he's Nostradamus. And we're like, no, we're not Nostradamus, but yeah.
Okay. I remember when that happened, and that was just massive news, right? So,
Yeah.
So, but I didn't know your channel at the time. So
people also claimed that we changed the packaging for this video. I was like, no, there's no way I can really prove that. But I was like, no, we did not touch it.
Okay.
They're like, you changed it to like fake people out to say that you called it or something.
Oh,
I was like, no, I didn't change anything.
And it's a good thumbnail. So what's kind of like a key for you that like a good thumbnail for your channel?
So, well, okay, a few things. It needs to be quickly, like, understandable.
Okay.
At a glance.
Yep.
Clean. And ideally, that's not the same for everything, but ideally it's like unique or eye-catching.
Okay.
You know, because if it's like just you're competing with so many other videos on your feed, so it needs to be a few things.
Okay. Beautiful. I got a few more. Bam. That's a cool one. I like that. The airdrop.
Airdrops are dead. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I like it. We have a designer. He's great.
Oh, gotcha.
And he makes it really pretty.
Okay.
But yeah, it's just simple and clean. And
so do you find that like fear is kind of like a good
definitely
click point? Okay.
Definitely.
Okay. Beautiful. So there's like fear, curiosity,
greed, maybe FOMO.
Greed, FOMO.
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly.
Okay. Beautiful. Got a couple more. This is one of the few where you're not on it. You're not like the main face on it. I mean, aside from your host.
It's an interview. An interview, and I want to do more of those on our channel. But just for that particular format, just trying to spotlight the guest instead.
Okay. Beautiful. That's a great one too. I got one more. Bam.
Nice. Yeah.
That's a cool one.
Base coins. This one did really well. I think we got like close to 100K views off this one.
Beautiful.
Yeah, self-explanatory, base coins, some logos, and a lot of gains.
Yeah. So do you think, when do you think it gets to the point where it's like too much? Like I know that, so I will always, buy books or buy ebooks or kind of buy courses on like, YouTube and stuff. And it's always like because I buy it in English, it's always like an American, Canadian sort of one. But a lot of that stuff doesn't transfer well here because here, it's like if you look at the YouTube thumbnails in Taiwan, it's like massive, Chinese characters, and it's just like boom, 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 boom. It's crazy. So, tell me about what do you think the kind of the differences and stuff with that?
I don't know about here in general, but I would say you do want to be tuned to where you are. So, if you look at the successful ones, like it's always good in general to like use successful ones in your niche or your area as inspiration. Okay. So if that's what they do, then you should also try not to stray too far from it. Unless you have a really specific strategy in mind to innovate. Okay. Then sure. Okay. But yeah, I would say you want to stick to that. But for me, to not go too far, I don't want to do ones where it's like huge mouth agape and like 1,000x gains, because that's become sort of a meme these days, and people like disrespect. I don't respect people who make those kind of thumbnails.
Do you have any like sort of crypto YouTubers that you kind of try to follow, or that you find like there's Cryptos Are Us, right? There's that We're George, We're All George, that dude, and then there's what's that one where the guy breaks it down, that British dude? It's like
Coin Bureau.
Coin Bureau. That's a great channel, right?
Yeah.
So are there any sort of channels that you think are like, wow, this is a good view?
Yeah, sometimes I watch Coin Bureau and Invest Answers and some other ones. I would say most of the alpha we get are from X though. Okay. And also from like people writing blog posts or like white papers and things like that, like the ground source of information. I don't know, surprisingly or not, I actually don't watch that much crypto YouTube myself. Okay. Because a lot of them have not the best analysis And
Okay.
I'm not a noob anymore, right? So
Yeah,
I don't need
yeah.
to be watching their
makes sense.
noob-friendly content, per se.
Do you have advice for noobs like that want to come into the game, jump on the retail DAO, right?
Jump
like
on the retail DAO for sure.
I'll put a link for the retail DAO in the description. Anything else for somebody who's like, it's 2025, it's New Year's Eve, right? Happy
Yeah.
New Year's. Who wants to jump in 2025? Bitcoin's at 100 grand right now. Anything like that? Any advice?
Join retail DAO.
Okay.
Learn a lot. Watch trusted people on YouTube, X.
Okay.
Just discuss people, ask questions in the right communities, of course.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's it. Just have a learner's mindset, essentially.
Okay. And what about, let's say, the next 5 years? Everything goes, according to plan for your channel, for the Coinsider channel. What's the goals? Let's say 5 years. 3 years,
It's
5 years. Yeah.
Just to be a lot bigger, to be honest.
Okay.
We're at like 320K.
Okay.
320K
Awesome.
subs.
Yeah.
We'd like to be much bigger. We'd like to be at 1 million.
Mm-hmm.
And we'd like to get a lot more views and just deliver a lot more value to our community and audience.
Okay.
And hopefully also have that chugging along as a well-oiled machine, and spend more time growing retail DAO as well. Because the vision for retail DAO, like I said, is to be the best home for retail investors. So that means even when the bull market's over, that
Yeah.
I know some people are going to leave, but
Yeah.
there's even like good trades during the bear market. Honestly, people should. I know everyone is gone during the bear market, but for the people who like properly allocate when things are really low, then if and when it comes back up, they're in like the best positions possible.
What are some tips for that? Because like for me, I dipped out obviously.
Yeah.
through that
Most
bear
people
market.
did.
Yeah,
Most people
because
did.
I can't keep things tied up when I'm going out the restaurant. I got all this stuff to take care of. I should obviously regret it now, but so what's some advice for people in the bear market? Obviously, hopefully that's not soon, but
I'd say still stay. I mean, you don't need to be in the trenches every day like during the bull market.
Okay.
But still stay plugged in. Like check things out occasionally. DCA conservatively and slowly, dollar
Okay.
cost average.
Yep.
And just look for opportunities with people, because like during the bear market things are really low, but as you see from peak to trough to peak again, it's
Yeah.
like
you can still
like-
make money in the bear market.
yeah, if you buy the quality ones
Okay.
while they're low, and eventually if and when they come up, then it can make like easy 10x essentially.
Okay. So it sounds like everyone should join the retail DAO.
Yeah, everyone should join the retail DAO.
Okay.
And join like-minded people like yourself.
Okay, beautiful, man. Do you have anything you want to pitch before we call it? I think we nailed most of the topics I wanted to hit.
I think we're good, to be honest.
good?
Yeah,
Yeah?
I think we're
Okay.
good. We ended with some good advice.
Okay.
And that's what I had in mind to share.
Beautiful, man. So retail DAO, I'll get the link from you. I'll put it in the description below. I'll also put the Coinsider channel.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Appreciate
brother.
it.
So appreciate that. Thank you guys for watching the podcast. We appreciate you.
Thank you,
for
guys.
coming, man. Hopefully, we'll be doing some more live streams from Dubai and from all
Sounds
over the
good,
world.
from other
yeah?
places.